Drinking beer is a huge part of the culture here in Vietnam. In fact, Vietnam ranks as one of the highest beer consumption per capita in all of Asia. But aside from the local selection of beers, there is a new segment popping up, and this is craft beer.
So it's just like Budweiser.
In tonight's video, I will be exploring some of the most recommended breweries that Saigon has to offer. The plan is to try over 15 of the best craft beers available in this city, but let's just hope we can make it to the end of the video.
Going back to Seven Bridges, they had the Japanese.
Smelled that one.
That's good, right? Emma, can I try the One Eye Imperial IPA? Gak bang oi, Phuc Ma Day, and welcome to this beautiful Monday night here in Saigon, Vietnam. Now tonight's video is going to be a fun one because it is a brewery crawl. Most people are familiar with a pub crawl, but this is focused on the breweries that we have here in this city. Now personally, my wife, she had a One Nhao for many years, so I was used to the Vietnamese drinking scene, whereas this is focused on places that make their own beer. Craft beer, that is, and in Vietnamese we call craft beer Bia Thổ Không. Now I did one at a brewery before, trying their different varieties, but tonight is focused on crawling to different breweries throughout the city to try what they have to offer. And not only the staff, but one of the customers recommended this beer, and this is known as the One Eye Imperial IPA. I have to say, one of the better IPAs I've had. I don't normally drink IPAs because I can't drink too many, but this is really good. But it goes down with remarkable ease thanks to a balanced blend of malt, hops, and body. Cheers. It's good. I like the location. I used to spend a lot of time on the street because La Fiesta was across the street. If you remember the Bear Dat video from 2019, we actually ate lunch with Dat at La Fiesta. They actually brought him rice outside. And around the corner is Brick and Barrel, which is a great restaurant that I frequent around here. But this is the first time I've been in Weeking Seal. I feel like I've tried their beers before, probably not this one, but it's the first time I've been in here. I like the setup. It's small, it's quaint, the servers are nice, and it looks good. So there are 4 breweries on the list tonight, first one being Weeking Seal, but luckily the other 3 are close to each other. At least on the map it looks like I can walk to all of them. So we're gonna finish up here, and I have a special guest for tonight's video that I'm gonna go meet over at Seven Bridges next. Let's keep the video going.
It makes a lot of sense for Seven Bridges to be on Lee Tan Ton in Little Tokyo because our CEO is Japanese, and like her connections, the Japanese community here, it makes so much sense. Also, one of our most popular beers is made with yuzu, Japanese citrus.
All right, Cat Back Noise, second stop of the night. We're over here on Lê Tan Ton Street at Seven Bridges. I have Jay over here. You might remember him from the Coconut Worm video, and Travis, the creative director of Seven Bridges. Travis, you mentioned it's been here about 5 years, right?
Yep.
5 years in Vietnam, but in Saigon, they opened on New Year's Eve this year.
I think we should start with yuzu.
Yuzu.
Japanese citrus.
Okay.
Which is right there.
Awesome. Thank you. The oldest. I can taste the citrus right away. And this Japanese citrus, are you using this in other beers, or is it specifically for this beer?
Specifically.
Wow. So to me, I like it.
It's good.
How do you feel?
It's pretty light.
Yeah?
It's not too overbearing. I love it. The yuzu, it's fresh. It tastes fresh and very citrusy, but not too overbearing.
Yeah.
It's a super sessionable beer. It's 4.2%.
Okay. Yes. Very refreshing. It's gonna be okay, guys. The worst was the first review I did at a brewery was East West, and the manager's sitting with my wife behind the camera, and it's like 10:30 in the morning. Like they had me come right before they open. They give me a flight of 10, and she goes to my wife, I think he's drunk. Because I kept forgetting my lines in Vietnamese. Sau khi Phúc uống thử tất cả các loại beer này. Tất cả các loại beer? Okay. And I would start slurring my Vietnamese. She goes, I'm pretty sure he's drunk.
You can blame any wobbliness on the beers.
Exactly. It's more natural, you know, vlog style. I'll be good with that. Now we're going for the Laurel Pale Ale.
Yes.
Awesome. Which one are we looking at for this?
This is this one,
Okay.
and it's made with laurel leaf.
Yeah, it's almost like an herb in there. You know what I mean? You can taste like a sense of herb. I feel like I'm almost drinking a tea.
It does have an herbaceous taste to it.
See, I might teach him Vietnamese, but he's breaking out English words that I don't even know.
So this is a double laurel IPA.
Oh, wow.
So
So I'm going to assume that there's more of the laurel leaf in there. Yeah. So we'll have a similar taste. Whoa. Okay. We get the IPA immediately, catches my tongue, but I can still catch a hint of some kind of herb in there. That was really good, guys.
So
That
there's
one's
a
very nice.
balance of the floral and the herb together.
That's good.
It's got some hoppiness to it. Does that taste like an 8.6?
No, no.
The double IPA, a lot of hop, but not as like double.
Strong as you would expect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are down 3. We have the 4th one now. What are we on here for the 4th one?
I think it's time to go dark.
Okay.
So
Is that a stout?
Fire Eater is a chili stout.
A chili stout. Ooh. Sorry, Guinness. I think we have a new contender. Wow, that's really good.
It's interesting.
Yeah?
Very interesting.
I don't know. That might pass that Laura IPA. I don't know. Similar to other stouts, I feel like it's something I couldn't drink all night, but I could start with it and then move on to others.
Deliberately chose to have Beach Blonde after Fire Eater.
Okay.
Because this is a bit of a, it's a pale ale, it's a light beer, it's a palate cleanser. It's a classic craft beer.
Not anymore, no. I think you need a rapid.
I love how you stick your pinky out too.
I think that's just like, I broke my hand about 10 years ago, so I think it's a natural. He's making fun of my disability, everyone.
Oh, not even. I thought it was very classy.
This
Just
guy.
gentleman-like.
He's so sly with his insults. Gosh.
Very light. Has a little citrus kick to the end. I dig it. This is something I was actually drinking all night. I can dig this.
And that's what it's brewed for. This is a day on the beach.
Okay.
Cooler full of beers. And
I like it.
crack them and pass them around. This is Imperial IPA,
All right.
which is our flagship beer. It's in bottles available. It's a 9% double IPA. Our beer bottle has a portrait of our original security guard, Uncle Anne,
Okay.
who is dependable, solid, and will never let you down.
The original security guard of
Of Seven
Seven
Bridges.
Bridges.
Demo.
Wow, what an honor. That's good. That's what I think of when I think of IPA. Like that's literally the authentic IPA taste. Sir?
I just love your reaction every time.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very glad we're doing this in English. Like I said, Vietnamese is fine for me, but then once alcohol gets involved, I'll start to slip, and then my tones will go off, and then bad words will get said, and
I'm extremely glad you're doing this in English because I've been in Vietnam for 4 years and watching your videos makes me feel shame.
thank you, sir.
Of my
Thank you.
terrible Vietnamese.
But it's cycles. It's cycles.
Same.
Because 2018, I got married, and I remember I was on my honeymoon in Thailand, and I'm watching another YouTuber here, and his Vietnamese was awesome. And I told my wife, I go, man, I want to get like that. why isn't my Vietnamese that good? I could do a YouTube channel. We're talking about it. This is 2018. Years later, him and I, we collaborated. Now, you know, we're buddies, and I'm not on his level, but I did get to that. And then people will say the same thing to you, to me. They watch my YouTube channel and they're like, well, I hope I can get there. And it's like, well, one day you can. I've been here 8 years. You know, 4 more years. You never know. You never know. Challenge accepted.
As a double IPA, that, dude, it's textbook, man.
That's what I'm saying. I imagine an IPA tasting like that.
This is phenomenal, phenomenal.
So I have left the newest beer to the last.
Ah,
This is Independent Sweden Happiness.
the one we mentioned before. Doppler through y'all. And folk.
It's an American pale ale.
Okay.
And it's brewed to the recipe that started craft beer in America.
Okay.
So it's a super classic pale ale.
So it's just like Budweiser. Just kidding.
Oh, man.
And personally, I'm not a pale ale fan. If I'm choosing types of beers, that's not my top one. But I really do like that.
Wow. I'm just kidding.
Please, boys.
No, that's actually very light and it's very refreshing.
Yeah,
It's very refreshing. I like it.
I will have to say, the yuzu first was the best. I really enjoyed that citrus flavor in it. You could call me Bambeo all you want, but I really enjoyed that citrus flavor. Second place, you know, I'm gonna go with the Fire Stout because first time trying Chilean beer. You know, I worked in a few Irish bars. I do like Guinness. I do like the stout taste. So I'm gonna go with that as the second one. And third, I will go with the Beach Blonde, right? Beach Blonde.
To be completely honest, I love the double IPA was my favorite. Then I go to the beach, it was really good. And last but not least was the Freedom.
American Pale Ale, right? APA.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so we wrapped up the second one. I want to give a big shout out to Seven Bridges and Travis, having a legit tour guide here to explain everything and give us a huge sample of what they have to offer. Very impressed with this lineup. I like the backstory with the Japanese CEO, Japantown, the Japanese citrus in here. Everything about this place is awesome. Make sure you check out Seven Bridges. On to the next one. And we made it to the third brewery on the list. This is Pasture Street Brewing. And in my experience, this is one of the more well-known breweries in Vietnam. It's the first one I knew about. And I do love this beer that we have here. I've tried it before. It's available in a lot of stores. This is the Jasmine IPA. Going from my buddy Jay's experience in the last place. Well, I know he likes IPA, so we're gonna go with this Jasmine IPA. You ready for this?
Cheers, brother.
First impressions.
Let's do it.
As good as I remember.
That's good.
Taste that?
That's so good.
It has such a great aftertaste. It has the IPA taste if that's what you're looking for, but the aftertaste is phenomenal. Sorry, I took that word from your last. Phenomenal. Herbaceous.
It does have an herbaceous taste to it.
Yes. It's very good, guys.
It's very light. Very light, but it has a little bit of hop to it too. Wonderfully put together. This might be my favorite one.
Might be the favorite of the night, huh?
Yeah, for real.
There are a lot of tap rooms throughout the city, so yeah, they definitely know what they're doing.
It's very light. It's easy to enjoy, especially on a hot day or a hot evening. It's very refreshing too.
Yeah. When it comes to an IPA, I expect something to be heavier. We tried a few double IPAs, but you know, I think this is the perfect mix. You have that IPA taste, while at the same time being light and refreshing, easy to drink. I'm happy with
Herbaceous.
it. Yeah. Herbaceous, as they say.
Herbaceous.
As they say in Texas.
Yes, they do.
And we've made it to the last place on the list for the night. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm glad you're still hanging in there with me, Jay. This is called Heart of Darkness. And I remember because I filmed a video here in 2019 for an arm wrestling tournament. I didn't compete, my buddy Dustin did, but I got to watch and film a video at their bar, different location, but I remember the beers here were really good. And we were talking, we couldn't really decide which one we want to drink. So of course, we got a flight, just like before. What was your #1 choice on this flight, Jay?
The tiramisu, the stout.
Ooh.
I had to try the stout. It said
Yes.
tiramisu. I was like, I want that.
So we had the spicy stout over at Seven Bridges, but here they have a tiramisu stout.
That
So,
sweetness.
sir, I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, thank you.
Try it out, see what you think.
Beautiful smell, aroma of coffee.
Okay. Was it everything you dreamed?
Do one more sip. I gotta do one more sip. Gotta try one more sip.
That's a good sign.
Like it says tiramisu, but I'm thinking coffee.
Okay.
Try it for yourself.
Right away. Yeah, definitely a coffee flavor.
Yes.
For sure. But it's almost like a carbonated coffee.
And what was your favorite?
This is the wheat beer, the banana here.
Yes.
So I really wanted to try the wheat.
I love bananas, man. That smell is very beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
I'm still like breathing in and tasting banana from that.
It definitely is.
Tropical. We have the Loose
What was the
and the Kurtz IPA.
Try that
Yours
one.
was. Okay.
I forget what it was.
It tastes very strong when it comes to that IPA flavor.
It's the Kurtz Insane IPA.
And luckily we've had the opportunity to try multiple IPAs through the
Wow.
night, so we can really see the difference.
Definitely a double.
Yeah.
Definitely a double.
I have to say that banana one blew my mind. I've never had a beer that had a banana aftertaste like that. Similar to Seven Bridges, they had the spicy stout. I've never had a spicy beer, so tonight is all about first experiences.
Yes.
Now, which one do you want to go with next?
Let's try that one. The
This
pomelo.
one? Pomelo? Okay.
Yeah.
Or as we say in Vietnamese, boi,
Boy.
boi,
Boy.
y'all hỏi.
Yeah, hỏi.
Ooh, I hope it's y'all hỏi. We're gonna figure out after when I edit this one.
Boy.
You can taste the pomelo in there. And personally, for me, in America, I was not a fan of grapefruit. My mom used to eat it, but I never liked it. I'm like, oranges, tangerines, they're so much better than grapefruit. Why would you eat that? But over here, they have pomelo, which is like grapefruit, but not as sour. And when you put it into beer, I've seen nothing but good results. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it
It's
a lot.
very light. It's like a citrus light to it.
All right, so we have another IPA here selected by the bartender, and he said it's good. So I'm gonna let you get the first dibs on this.
Why, thank you, sir.
See how you think about it.
Loosey goosey. Let's see how far. Let's see how we say.
In the outtakes.
It's actually really good. It's very good. It's very strong.
Yeah, again,
Very strong.
I feel like the IPAs that we're trying here are stronger
Way
than the
stronger.
other places.
Definitely.
You know, they had double IPAs, but I feel like here it really hits.
Like triple.
Yeah, it's on another level.
Definitely a lot of hops.
Okay, and last but not least, we have the tropical. Okay.
Did you get the honors?
I chose this one because, again, to me, it's very interesting. I come from drinking the cheapest beer in college, Natty Light. Remember Natty Light?
No,
Natural
Keystone.
Light. Okay, so Keystone.
Keystone,
it's the
oh,
same
Natural
thing.
Light, I know.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Natural Light.
Might
yeah.
even be the same company. I don't know.
Probably is.
But basically, their demographic is poor college freshmen that cannot afford beer, and you buy Natural Light or Keystone Light because you can't afford Bud Light. And coming from that background and slowly working my way up, I mean, later in college, I started drinking Bud Light, Coors Light, moving up the ranks.
A little
I
bit.
realized, beer can taste better than Natural Light. Great minds think alike. All right, sir.
tropical.
Let me know what you think. I can taste the fruit in there, but it's sort of dry at the end.
It smells fruity.
It's like a dry aftertaste.
Wow. Yeah, it does have a dry aftertaste to it.
It makes you want to have another sip.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
I like how he puts that. It makes you want to have another sip. And just because he said that, I'm going to have another sip. All right, guys. So as we've been doing, when we get multiple beers like this, it's important to rank them. Our favorite, maybe the top 3. So if I'm gonna break this down, let me get one more sip of this to see. That one's really good. You know what? The loose one, Doug, which one is the loose one? What's that called?
The New River, New England IPA.
Okay.
The hazy one.
Okay, so if I'm gonna go with number 1, I'm gonna have to say the Loose Rivet IPA. To me, that one just, it sits right with me. I like it. I like the taste of that. Sir, number 1, what do you think, Jay?
I'd take the loose IPA as well, man. Definitely.
He just copied me. I'm gonna have to go with the stout for number 2. How about you for your number 2?
My number 2 is gonna have to be the banana.
Ooh. All right, so number 3, I'm gonna go with the banana. I like the banana as well.
My number 3 would have to be the Pomelo.
Okay.
So, Mr. Brendan Hurley, what do you think about all these beautiful 6 flights of different beers?
This guy keeps saying 6 flights. It's 1 flight of 6 beers, but it's all good. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. If you find yourself in Saigon, make sure you check out the breweries.
The flavor profiles are out of my world. Never had I get a chance to try them all out, but it's a blessing.
Like we said, guys, in Vietnamese, beer to com. And if you're interested in Jay's vlog, I'll put it up here on the screen. It's called That Whole Life. And that's a Vietnamese coming back to Vietnam from being born and raised in America and his experience over here. So I hope you guys check that out. Thank you so much for watching. All the beers were delicious. Have nothing bad to say about any of the breweries here. In fact, I'm even more impressed than I was before because I can't believe the varieties that they have available. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, hang that pie and chuk mo na mo.